Claire's Clues. On today's video, we'll be talking about the book The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. See, this book is a little bit about statistics and a little bit about how to get to success. So let me start by saying that by the age of 65, you'll find that only 5% out of 100 people will truly be able to achieve success, or would have done just that. So success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So whatever it is that you have in mind, if you're willing to pursue it, if you're willing to go past the uncomfortable stages and get through the obstacles, you'll find that you'll be able to achieve success just like many others, or the 5%. But unfortunately, most of us do act like the 95% that don't make it, simply because of habits and the things that we've been taught from the get-go. Things that we don't look back and question why, or what is it, or how does it actually help me? These are the things that generally hold us back in achieving success. But what he does say is that 19 out of 20 don't know why they get up in the morning. So majority of people, is what he's saying, don't really know why they're getting out of bed. Now that's a pretty daunting fact to think about, considering that we all do it, we just don't know why. So have a think about that one. Think about why it is you're getting out of bed in the morning. Is it to achieve something, or is it just because the sun's up and you've got to get out of bed? Whatever it is, I'm sure there's a worthy ideal behind all of it. But he goes on to say that success is doing a premeditated job that you love. Predetermined. So basically it's what it is that you're doing. You absolutely love it. You are 100% invested. You are obsessed with whatever it is you are doing. This, you'll find that it will enable you to reach levels that most people won't be able to reach, simply because you're more invested than most. Now, he goes on to say that don't compete, but create. So instead of competing with others and comparing yourself to what other people have achieved or haven't, don't do that because comparing is generally the death of all things. So if we try to compare ourselves as a person to someone else that's been doing the same job for 10 years longer, we might find that we'll feel a little bit incompetent, therefore we will feel as if we're not good enough, and we won't put in the effort that's required. So instead of trying to compete with others and compare ourselves to other people and where they're at in their journey, instead create what it is you want. Create the journey of your own. And this way you'll find you'll be creating obstacles that you can overcome. You'll be creating a scenario in which you have ultimate control over. So he goes on to say, work out your goals. Work out what it is you want to achieve, or where you want to end up in 10, 20, 30 years time. Whatever it might be, you need to start working that out, writing it down, and then backtracking on what steps you're going to need to take in order to get there. All right, and also he goes on to say as well that the key to success and failure is that we become what we think about. So our thoughts are going to determine a lot of what it is that we are capable of doing and not capable of doing. So our success generally lies in what we think. So if we think, I can't do this, you'll find that you generally won't put in the effort or attempt to even do whatever it is you're thinking about doing. But if you find that you think, yes, I'm not competent in what this is, but I can learn, I can do better, I can try at the very least. These are the kinds of people that tend to be in the 5%. People that were willing, no matter what, no matter how uncomfortable it might be, to put themselves outside of their comfort zone and do the things that would enable them to achieve great success of some degree. Now, understand that the opposite of courage is not cowardice, but instead conformity. So conformity is acting like the 95% without knowing why. So if you're acting like the 95%, you're generally not questioning what it is you're doing, why you do it, or have an understanding of what's really going on. Now, a lot of us do this unknowingly, because a lot of us don't stop to think, hey, does this actually benefit me? Or if I take this course of action, is it really going to give me the result I'm looking for? Or am I wasting my time doing 10 tasks that I can narrow down to 1? These are the things that we need to start questioning and start looking at, because these will help narrow down our path to success. Now, he also goes on to say that selling is the world's highest paid profession. So as crazy as it might be, it's not, being a great doctor, it's not a surgeon, it's not, one-of-a-kind Picasso artist or, Van Gogh, whatever it might be like that. It's not in those professions. It's actually in selling. So sales is a #1 selling profession, believe it or not. And there are many, many forms of it. So have a look around, dig deep. I'm sure Google can help out in this one, but look into sales because it can help make you the kind of money that you're looking for. And it might be able to save you from your 9-to-5 job. So he also goes on to say that everything comes if a man is only willing to wait. So what he means by this is that we all require patience. Is that if we have enough patience, what we'll find is that with patience and persistence, we can get to where we want to go. We just have to understand that success does not occur overnight. Now, as much as we would like it to, as much as many people would love to wake up in the morning, check their bank account and realize, oh, I'm a millionaire. I would love that personally. But we all know that success is not gotten overnight, and it's not gotten through just, doing our 9-to-5 job or simply just waking up in the morning. It requires effort and energy and a proper dedication to whatever it is that we want to do or achieve. All right. So he also goes on as well to say that we operate on 10% of our ability. So as crazy as that is, a lot of us might feel that at the end of the day, we've given 100%. But the truth is that throughout the day, you're only running on 10% of your capability, your full potential. So if we're only putting in 10% and you're getting results now, imagine what it is if you were to put in that little bit more. Imagine how much further we could all get if we just gave that little bit more of the energy that we have, or the persistence required, or our dedication that is needed. Imagine what you could achieve. Now, he also says that plant the seed in your mind and nurture it. It will grow. So basically plant the seed of success. Start thinking to yourself, all right, this is what I want to achieve. Maybe you want to be a millionaire, and start working back from there. Start believing in yourself. Believe that you can achieve these things. Believe that it is possible, because nothing is impossible. It's just we are our own obstacles. And a lot of the times our minds get in the way of what it is we want to achieve. Our minds are generally the ones that tell us, hey, this is too difficult, or I'm not comfortable with this, I don't want to do it. But in truth, it's not us at all. It's not that truth at all. It's the fact that we just don't feel comfortable in the situation because we've never experienced it before. So a lot of us shy away from situations or circumstances of which we haven't been in, and that makes us unsure of the outcome or unsure of our potential. But what happens if when we step out of our comfort zone and we start doing the things that we're not, acquainted with, or we're not usually doing on a daily basis, we find that our potential lies in the unknown, the things that we haven't done. That's where we find out where we make or break. And if we're not good at what it is we're doing, we can always learn to be better. You can always work on getting better at whatever it is you want to achieve. There's no such thing as I'm not good enough, because truly the only reason you can say that is because you haven't applied yourself. The only reason you could get away with it is because you don't feel like putting in the required needs that it would take to get you to where you want to be. Now, a lot of us are in that situation. Like I said, 95% of people. But in saying that, there's also that 5%. The 5% that are willing to step outside that comfort zone and be in an area of unusual situations or uncomfortable situations, only to find growth. Because that's where it is found. That is where we grow the most, is outside of where we are comfortable. Now, he also goes on to say that control your thinking and your thoughts, and they are the driving force. So like I just said, whatever it is you think, you'll find will come to fruition. Whether it be positive or negative, this is what impacts us the most. So if we start our day off by thinking, I'm too tired, I'm exhausted, I don't want to do today, I've had enough, you'll find that you won't start taking the steps towards whatever it is you want to actually achieve. And you'll find things to put in your own way to stop you from achieving success. But in saying that, even if you are tired, even if you're exhausted, and you've had a bad day the day before, or you think today's going to be bad, if your mindset towards it is, even though I'm uncomfortable, even though I don't feel like it, I know I need to do this, you'll find that by pushing through that uncomfortability, you'll be able to do things that the majority of people don't. You'll be able to do things that will enable you to have a life of financial freedom and success. Because even though you might be feeling down, if you still take one step forward, that's one step you might not have taken if you had gone down the path of I'm too tired. All right, guys, so I'll quickly summarize this all for you. He starts off by saying that at the age of 65, only 5% out of 100 people actually achieve success. Now, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So whatever it is that you deem a worthy idea to yourself, then that is what you'll be pursuing. And most of us act like the 95%, unfortunately. We just don't know why. Sorry guys, just thinking on that one. But yes, most of us act like the 95%, and we don't actually stop to understand why we do. And then he goes on to say that 19 out of 20 people, like I said, don't know why they get up in the morning. So I know we're all like guilty of it at some point, but the thing is we need to stop and think. Use the 5-second rule if you have to, and count from 5 back to 1, and only realize that it's just a moment, and the next moment will happen, and a moment after that, and so long as you're putting one foot forward after the other, that's how we take steps forward. All right, he also says that don't compete, create. Don't compete with other people, and don't compare yourself to others, because they might be 10 years, 20 years further along the track into what you're doing than you are yourself. And comparing yourself to them would be that of a fault to you. It would be unfair. So instead of competing or comparing, create your own ideal. Create what you want to do, and create your own version of it, your own path. Because that way you'll find that you'll be in more control of what it is you do, and the things of when you do fail, you'll be the only one you can turn to say, hey, look, I did fail at this. I'm not a failure. I can still move past it, and I've learned how to not do this one thing. All right? So he also goes on to say, work on your goals. Write them out. Make sure you know what it is you're trying to achieve. Make sure you know in what direction you're going. And also that the key to success and failure is what we think about. So the majority of our thoughts and what they're made up of is what we usually find comes to fruition into reality. So if we're thinking bad thoughts, you'll generally find that your life will be kind of sad, miserable, and you'll start dragging your feet along the way. But instead of that, if you're thinking positive thoughts, these are the kinds of people you see walking down the street, you know, dancing, they're happy, they're having a good time, and it could be raining outside, but they're thinking positively. So that's the difference, guys. And moving on, he also says that the opposite of courage is not cowardice, but instead conformity. And conformity is acting like the 95% without knowing why. So the reason that we walk down the street the same direction, or we all drive on the same side of the road, whatever it might be, is that 95% of people do it. So everyone else will do it too. And no one stops to question why. Why is it that way? So have a think. Have a think about why it is we do the things we do, or why it is we act the way we do in certain situations. And then you can start evaluating from there what it is you might want to change or redirect in another way. He also goes on to say that selling is the world's highest paid profession. So like I said, it's not being a doctor or a surgeon or a #1 artist or anything like that, or even a really good tennis player. But instead, it's in sales. And like I said, have a look through Google. You'll find plenty of areas where sales is applicable. And this is actually the #1 paid profession in the world. It can help you achieve financial freedom and the success that you are looking for. Now, he also goes on to say that everything comes if a man will only wait. And what he means by that is we need to have patience. Things don't occur overnight. We don't just wake up in the morning after planting seeds the night before and find a beautiful garden. Like, it's just not, it's unrealistic, truly. So what we actually need to do is think about the patience that we need, the persistence that it takes to get there, and just keep taking one step at a time every day. All right, so we also operate on 10% out of our ability. So 10% is all we operate on. It's all we function on. And if we're only using 10%, imagine what it would be if we use 11 or 12 or even 20% of what we have. So we could achieve so much more if we just pushed ourselves a little bit further every day. Also, he goes on to say that plant the seed in your mind and nurture it, look after it, and it will grow. So the seed is basically success. Plant the idea that you will be successful and believe it in yourself. Believe that you are capable of doing this, because anyone is capable of anything. We just need to apply ourselves. Sorry, guys. And he also says that control your thinking and your thoughts, because they are the driving force behind what it is we do. So if you have control over what you're thinking and what you're doing, you'll be able to find that you'll start taking the right steps towards your goal. Now, that's all from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it so far. We'll be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. But until next time, leave a comment below on what you like the most. And I look forward to seeing you next time in Claire's Clues. Bye!